previous videos we covered some concepts related to module 4, right? So module 4 actually dealing with some theoretical concepts of software testing, right? Document, especially the last part, dealing with the documentation and reporting, right? Once you've done all your activities, so you have to document all your activity in the form of a report, so right. So in the last video we did discuss that one, right? So, in the last videos, we actually cleared our doubt regarding how to monitoring the process and all, right? Why should you require monitoring the process? How do you going to monitor and all? So these questions, yeah, definitely people need an answer for these kind of questions, right? Because process monitoring is a technique where you're going to monitor your process so that you can detect early errors. If you detect early errors, what will happen? You can finish your project at the right time. Within deadline, you can easily finish your project. Otherwise, what will happen if you are not going to improve your process? What will happen? That the errors, the faults, different classes of faults are present, right? These kind of faults are actually propagated into next level. So from unit testing to integration testing, from integration testing goes into integration testing to system testing. So in this level they actually propagate. Okay, so once they propagated to higher levels, it is very difficult to identify and correct. Okay, that's all. That important points actually we covered in the last video, right? So in this video we just focus on module 5 here. So I'm going to start module 5 from this video. So module 5 is based on integration and component based software testing, right? It is related to integration as well as component based software testings. Okay, so what is exactly the integration as well as component based? So unit testing, right? Unit testing in the sense, unit is nothing but small models. If you test the small model for some errors, then you can call it as a unit testing or model testing. Integration in the sense, if you combine those models and start to test those models, it is considered as a integration testing. Okay, so this kind of what are the challenges we have, we actually need to face when we uh, executed test case related to integration testing and that. So we are going to discuss uh, in the model 5. Okay, problems arise in integration even of well designed models and components, right? Of course, when you combine two models, of course, if they are not compatible with each other, right, you need some strategy to face the problems which arises when you combine those models, right? Integration testing aims to uncover interaction and compatibility problems as early as possible, right? As now only I told you, right, regarding compatibility. If two models are not compatible with each other, these integration testings primary aim is to uncover interactions, right? So when those two models interact with one another, if there is any problem is there, they need to uncover this uncover in the sense you need to solve this kind of of problems and all, right? Some interaction issue will come, compatibility issue will come. So these are all the problems we are going to face when you execute the test related to integration testing. So regarding the overview, as people know, traditionally V model in the sense is one of the model we follow for software testing. Okay, so traditional V models divides testing into four means of granularity, right? So this traditional V model actually test into four levels, right? We previous in when we uh, are talking about different kind of testing, also we came across this kind of issue, this kind of concepts, right? we have a different kind of testing. So here also they have it based on V model, right? Traditional V model. It actually divides testing into four main levels of granularity. Model testing is nothing but unit testing, integration testing, system testing, as well as acceptance tests. So these are all the four different kinds of models. So you can check here different kind of models and all. Model test, right? Model test is the integration test, sorry, or unit test. You have a different kind of distinguish or difference between the main three kind of testing, right? They have mentioned specification, visible structure, scaffolding. Scaffolding required looking for faults in. Okay, so related to model testing, the specification requires the module interface, right? What the module interface it requires. Related to integration testing, the specification requires interface specifications as well as model breakdown, right? For if you want to note down or if you want to specify some specification related to integration testing, you should focus on interface specification as well as model breakdown. Related to system testing, the specification is nothing but requirement specification, right? So related to visible structure, in the sense what are the main thing we actually need to focus on related to visibility, right? Visible structure is in the sense in unit testing or model testing, the main focus is on coding details, where in integration testing, visible structure involves modular structure. Modular structure in the sense software architecture. Same way, related to system testing, visibility structure, there is no visibility structures will be there. Related to scaffolding required. Scaffolding, what exactly is scaffolding? Scaffolding is nothing but extra feature we actually added to the code to support the code, right? So scaffolding generally when we talking about the scaffolding, the scaffolding is not when people might see when you are actually building some building house and all, they actually provide some support for that one, right? Supporting structure, that is called actually called as a scaffolding. Scaffolding is nothing but the supporting structure. Here also in software testing or software field, scaffolding is nothing but the extra code we actually added to the actual code to support. Okay, of course scaffolding is not needed at all, but to gain some what you called strength, if you want to increase your strength of your code or capability or performance of your code, or what you called as the quality of your code, you need to add some supporting feature, supporting code to your actual code. This supporting code is called as a scaffolding. Okay, this scaffolding required or not in model testing. So some scaffolding feature required in unit testing, but in integration testing, extensive supporting scaffolding feature should actually required. In system testing actually required few many, some scaffolding structure actually required, but when we talking about integration testing, we need a extensive scaffolding structure. Related to looking for faults in model, so when we are actually talking about unit testing, we're going to looking for faults in model, where integration testing we're going to looking for faults in interactions as well as compatibility. When we're talking about system testing, we're going to looking for faults in system functionality. Okay, this table is very important. You people should be please give more consider please give more focus to this table. Okay, so this table only tells you what exactly the main difference between unit testing, integration testing and system testing. Okay, so modules or unit test checks model behavior against specification or expectation. Okay, when you're talking about unit testing, what is the first thing you people should understand, especially unit test checks module behavior against specification. Behavior is there and specification is there. First, of course, we know that requirement specification is the main thing which actually tells you what exactly your module or your project needs to be needs to be actually what is actually the functionality of your project or product, right? The requirement specification only tells or states this kind of requirements. So it will check the behavior of particular unit or module against the specification, whether this module behaves according to the specification or not. Okay, coming to the testing, integration test checks module compatibility, where module test for behavior against specification. When we come into integration testing, it will check compatibility between different models, right? That is, of course, our main agenda is to achieve the compatibility, right? System check, when we are talking about system testing check behavior of the whole system with respect to specification. So unit testing with respect to model or unit, system testing with respect to the whole system with respect to means specification with respect to whole system, checking whether the system is working or not according to the specification. Acceptance test, after system testing, another testing is nothing but acceptance test. This test check behavior of the whole system with respect to user needs, whether it holds good the user needs or not, it is whether it is according to the user needs. Okay, in this way we are going to check. So these are the different you know small definition regarding uh, module testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. An effective interaction test is built on a foundation of thorough module testing and inspection. Right? Of course, if this module 5 is related to integration as well as system testing. Right? When we are talking about integration as well as system testing, we should know that the first point we, we, we people need to concentrate on is compatibility, to achieve the compatibility between two modules, right? That is the main agenda of integration testing. The effective integration test actually built on a foundation of thorough module testing and inspection, right? When we are talking about integration testing, the point is we should be very careful of unit testing, the module testing. Once you've done module testing thoroughly, properly, then you can easily people can easily conduct the integration testing. If some errors are present in modules only, if you are not doing your unit testing thoroughly, so errors, there may be a possibility that error may be present in your module. So when you are actually doing integration testing, it is very difficult to detect those kind of models. Okay, that is the main agenda. Module test maximizes controllability and observability of an individual unit. Of course, when we are conducting the unit testing, it should maximize controllability as well as observability. Integration testing may act as a process check on module testing. So once we conduct the unit testing, so this integration checking only acts as a process check. Okay, it will just check one for whether the unit testing is actually done properly or not. Thorough thorough integration testing cannot fully compensate for sloppiness at a module level. So if people not done unit testing properly, even though if you done integration testing thoroughly or perfectly, you can't achieve a great result when after the conduction of your integration testing, because to conduct the integration testing, first thing is unit testing should be done properly, then only you can easily and perfectly conduct the integration testing. So the quality of a system is limited by the quality of the modules and component from which it is built, and even apparently non-critical modules can have widespread effects. Of course, the quality of a system is actually limited by the quality of the modules, right? If it's true, right? The basic thing is not, you know, uh, basic thing of any testing is nothing but a unit or module. If module is not perfect, means you can't achieve a good quality product. That is the main point here. That if you want to do, if you want to get a good quality of product, means you should done the quality. You should done the quality check at the unit level thoroughly, and then only you will expect a good quality product. Example they have given here in 2014. Okay, buffer flow actually occurred in 2014. A buffer flow vulnerability in a single widely used library for reading PNG files. People know the PNG file, right? So when actually they read, when we reading the PNG file, portable network graphics files, it actually causes security vulnerability in Windows, especially in all operating systems like Windows, Linux, and Macintosh OS X, web browser, email clients, and all. So due to that one, integration tests therefore focus on checking compatibility between module interface. So this is one kind of example you can give. So due to the buffer overflow error, what actually happened? Uh, you can't achieve compatibility between this different kind of OS, Windows, Linux, Mac OS, web browser, and all. That's why it's very important to do the unit testing properly. Then only it is you can conduct integration testing thoroughly. So integration faults are ultimately caused by incomplete specification or faulty implementation of interface, resource usage, or required properties. Of course, what are the main causes of these faults, integration faults? Incomplete specification or faulty implementation of interfaces. These are the major fault. What are those faults? Incomplete specification or faulty implementation of interface, resource usage, or required properties. Right? These are all actually is a reason for the integration testing. People know incomplete specification. If the specification is not complete, means you can't achieve. Of course, you can't achieve a good integration test, and fault may be introduced into the your system. It also faulty implementation of interface. If the interface is not implemented properly, then also integration faults will occur. Unfortunately, it may be difficult or not cost effective to anticipate or completely specify all modules interactions. That's why the main problem is when in some system actually it contains different large number of modules. It actually unfortunately to conduct all kind of interaction test. This is one of the downside. Okay. Some of the faults. What are those integration faults? Example is there. Different kinds of faults also there. We can check here. Right? Integration fault. Another integration fault. What are the different kinds of fault? Another example has given. Inconsistent interpretation of parameters or values. So each module's interpretation may be reasonable, but they are incompatible. So what will be one example for this one? Unit mismatch. A mix of metric and British measure is believed to have led to loss of Mars climate orbiter in September 1999. So what is the reason for failure of Mars climate orbiter? Due to unit mismatch. Okay. This example, one or two example you can give. Okay, just for understanding, I will explain all the example here. So violations of value domains are of capacity or size limits, implicit assumptions on ranges of value or size. So violation of value domains also causes the integration fault. What is the example? Buffer overflow, right? in which an implicit capacity bound imposed by one module is violated by another has become notorious as a security vulnerability. For example, for some version of Apache 2 web server between 2.0.35 and 2.0.50 could overflow a buffer while expanding environment variable during configuration file passing. So even though if you violate some value domains also, or capacity or size limits also, you can have integration fault. For example, when here mentioned, right, in Apache web server 2, different two versions they have given, it causes some overflow issue due to the size issue. So they have not mentioned size properly. Implicit assumption on ranges of value size, actually they have not mentioned that one, actually that causes the integration fault. Side effect on parameter resources. This is also one of the example. What are the side effect of parameter and resources? A model often uses resources that are not expressly mentioned in the interface. Okay, so due to that one also, if you use resources with actually not intended for, that also causes side effects. Last one, missing or misunderstood functionality. Of course, even though some under specification of functionality may lead to incorrect assumption about expected result. If you not properly mention the functionality also, that will result in incorrect result. Okay, one example is also they have given. Counting hits on website may be done in many different ways per unique IP address, per hit, including or excluding spiders, and so on. Problems arise if the interpretation assumes in the counting model differs from that of its clients. Okay, one of the example will related to counting hits and websites. Okay, if you not properly mention the functionality of that one, you may get a wrong counts. Okay, so that is some introduction to, as well as issues related to integration testing. Okay, so in this slide as well as in the upcoming slides, so we have actually going to see some interested as well as important concepts like strategies, integration testing strategy. These questions actually asked many times in examinations. That's why it's very important for you to understand these concepts. Okay, so what exactly that this integration testing strategy? So before going to know the different kind of strategy, we should know the background of this one, right? So this integration testing strategy proceeds incrementally with assembly of models into successive larger subsystems. So there are actually different kind of strategy. This strategy proceeds incrementally with assembly of models. Once you start to construct and assemble the models, so simultaneously this strategy will be applied, and it will be coming to the picture. So what exactly incremental in the sense, one by one. Okay, incrementally adding the models. Incremental testing is preferred first to provide the earliest possible feedback and integration problems. So first we conduct integration testing to get some idea about or giving feedback regarding the integration problems. Okay, complex interaction may hide faults, and failures that are manifested may propagate across many models, making fault localization difficult. So once complex interaction is nothing but if your system consisting of different models, a large number of models, when we integrate all the models into one subsystems or one complete systems, this may involve some complex interactions, right? These complex interactions actually hide the model. Hide the model in the sense it doesn't show the models. If it shows the model, then you can easily detect the model and easily correct that one. If it is not showing that model, if it is not showing that faults, means what will happen? It may be appear in the later stages of software development. Once if you not you know if once you are not able to identify this kind of faults in the early stages, this kind of faults may be appeared in the later stages, like system test or acceptance test. Even after releasing the product, what you can get the faults. If you release the product and if the product contains actually some kind of you know uh, you know some kind of faults or error, means what will happen, it will completely destroy the function, completely destroy the intention, it will completely destroy the product also. That's why this complex interaction may hide faults. That's why the main reason of the integration system to detect this kind of faults. Okay, therefore it is worthwhile to thoroughly test a small collection of models before adding more. So incrementally, that's why we can call it as a incremental testing. Incrementally we will going to test each model and add those model to the already added model. Okay, first I'm going to test first model. Again I'm going to test second model. I'm going to integrate the first two model. Again I'm going to test the third model, and I'm going to integrate the third model to the already uh, integrated model. It will become model 1 2 3. So the model 1 2 3 integration already over, it is called as a subsystem. Then I will go for model 4, right? So I'm going for model 4 or unit 4. Again I will check that tune, I will test that unit, I will test that model. I'm going to add those model to the already added model subsystem. Now it will become a subsystem of 4 model. In this way, incrementally they will do the modeling, they will do the test. This is incremental testing. Okay, since incremental assembly some models are incomplete, one must often construct scaffolding to effectively test them, right? Of course it is incremental, right? If I completed the 4 model interaction, means it is considered as a subsystem only, not a complete system. It is incomplete system. To support this one, I'm going to use the feature called scaffolding. Scaffolding is the thing, but some features are there, like some units are there, like drivers are there, stubs are there, and various kinds of instrumentation are there. So I will use this feature to support my code, support my model. This can be a major cost of integration testing. So of course, if your code actually has a scaffolding feature, means it will be a higher cost actually. Okay, and it depends to a large extent on the order in which models are assembled and tested. It depends on those models. Okay, so there are different kind of models are there, different kind of approach. So what actually I told, it is a background of strategies, why actually we need a strategy. Okay, integration testing strategy. Now actually the different kind of strategy will start from here. Big bang approach is the first strategy, incremental testing strategy. What exactly this big bang approach? Here there is no need of scaffolding. Okay, there is no need to use stubs, there is no need to use drivers. Okay, and but must the development be carefully planned to expose well specified interfaces to each subsystem. If there is no supporting, means it should be, you know, carefully developed, carefully planned. People should carefully plan, and people should expose if there is any error is there, you can expose those kind of error to the, you know, you should expose the error in the right way. Okay, so delaying interaction testing hides faults. This is one kind of disadvantage. So if you use big bang approach, what will happen, it is something like delaying the interaction. Okay, delaying the interaction. If you delaying the interaction, there may be a possibility of you can't able to detect the errors. That's why delaying interaction testing hides faults whose effects don't always propagate outward to visible feature. That is nothing but violating the principle that filing always is better than filing sometimes, right? This is nothing but sensitivity principle. You're going to violate the sensitivity principle by hiding the error. If you delay the interaction process, it will hide the error. So if you hide the error means you are violating the sensitivity principle, and it's going to introduce some fault. Okay, it is very important. It will be very impossible to identify fault will be localized, and diagnosis becomes very difficult, because the failures that are visible may be far removed from their causes. Okay, that's why it is very important to not delaying the process. But if you use big bang approach, this is one of the downside of big bang approach, and also less rational strategy than an attempting to recover from a lack of planning. Okay, this is less rational in the sense less used strategy, and it is therefore also known as desperate test strategy. Desperate test strategy in the sense, if no other strategy is there, then only you will go for this approach, otherwise you should follow other approach. Desperate, and in the sense, if if you don't have any other options, then you can go with this option.